Good evening.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Matty man,
sir.
how are you? How are you? How are you?
Man, I'm here, man.
All
I can't
right.
even complain, man.
Yes,
What about
sir.
yourself?
Hey, ain't no need complaining. Ain't nobody listening. I've just become an
Nobody.
expert at turning lemon into lemonade. That's
Yes,
what I do
sir.
these days.
Yeah.
Today
You've had
was,
you.
oh
Go ahead, cause
man,
I was about to tell you. I know you had a one heck of a day today.
I have been jumping through the hoops today, boy. You tell me. Like I said, I didn't know you could own three vehicles and have all of them have something wrong with them at the same time. I didn't know that was possible. Yeah. But I had one that had a tire that needed to be changed. One had two, three different lights that came on out of nowhere. And then one wouldn't start. So two of them were in the shop, and I felt like, okay, well, I'll take this third one and go wash it. I get it up to the car wash. It don't start at the car wash. In line. People are like, okay, I'm trying to get my car washed, so. This one dude got out and said, yeah, the Mercedes Benz ain't no better than them BMWs. They all garbage, especially when they don't
Oh
start.
Lord!
I didn't say
And
that.
he was in one himself, huh?
No, he was driving a big old raggedy Chevy truck. I'm like, boy, go sit down. I'm
Oh
still fooling with
man.
German engineering. You better go sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found it comical. I was like, okay, you need to go sit down. But it was one of them days, and we worked it out. You know, you put a battery in it and keep it moving,
Yeah.
and you just squeeze the lemons, make you some lemonade, and
Yeah.
keep on driving.
Yeah, man. Cause you
That's
know
what I
what?
did.
There may be a little frustration, but shoot,
Hey,
it ain't gonna solve nothing.
hey, ain't no need in getting upset. What nothing gonna change
Nothing.
in that situation.
Might
Yeah,
well smile and keep it
smile,
going, man.
keep
Yeah.
riding, keep
Yeah.
riding. That's right. No, it was an interesting day, but made it
Man.
through, and life is still good. So
Yeah.
if you focus on the good stuff, you won't have time to trip on that no ways.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Absolutely.
That's what I do.
Absolutely.
So today is a really interesting topic. So much is happening, um, and a lot of it is decisions that we are making that ultimately might be poor decisions. But I was thinking that there are no worse decisions that you will probably make than those in your early adolescence, teenage, early 20s. When you think about bad decisions in your life, them the years that pop up for me. I don't know about
Yeah.
nobody else. Y'all might have had a little
Yeah.
perfect little upbringing. I didn't. Them teenage years and them 20s, boy,
Okay.
I said, did, and thought some things fully incorrect, and still find myself paying for
Oh yeah.
decisions that just weren't wise.
Oh yeah.
So, today is about if I could go back, catch that teenage Jerry curl wearing kid named Terry Caston.
Yeah.
Sit
Hold on.
down.
You had the Jerry Curl, man.
Come on now, I had the shag thing
You had the
on.
shag.
Come on, I had the shag off the back. Yeah. And if I could sit down and have a talk with him, I'd have some interesting things to say to him,
Yeah.
hoping that he was able to receive what I was saying so that he wouldn't have some of the heartaches to go through that he went through. So again, I don't know about y'all. Y'all probably had a lot better road than I did, but I made a whole lot of decisions that I regret. and had to pay for and still paying for,
Yeah.
depending on the decision.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on now. That's real.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And like I said, if I could go back, I'd do a few things a little differently. Some things I would leave the same because no matter what I thought, God really made good things out of them, like my children.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't change the fact that I would probably have them a little later in life.
Yeah. God made lemonade out of lemons, man.
There you go. And
Yeah.
it wouldn't change the fact that I
Yeah.
would have better prepared myself
Yeah.
so that their lives could have been a little easier had I waited.
Have you ever thought? I've thought about this, man. To go back and to change one thing could alter the course of
Of everything.
some great things that happen you probably wouldn't have
Oh.
experienced.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Could-
funny because when you think about it, you're right. Just one change of one thing might have made you miss out on a whole lot of other stuff that actually
Yeah.
was pretty good, right?
Yeah, yeah, and maybe that some of that good stuff was actually due to what we perceived as being bad.
All right.
Yeah, it was
That's
because of
true.
that.
That's true.
Some good came out of it. But yet and still, that question, what would I tell my teenage self?
Come on. You know we still have something to say.
Man, listen. For me, I always say I've been asked this question many times, man, and it's always, what would I tell myself? I think I told you earlier today. I would tell myself, man, you get somewhere and sit down.
Because you was doing the most, man.
Yeah, sit down. Boy, you don't. As my mama would say, you don't know. Shh.
From, no.
I'm gonna
No.
tell you, boy, you don't know.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, because TC, I was a debater, man. I asked why for everything. Everything was a why. You tell me why, or why, and I'm telling you, why you to death, man. And my mom would just get upset, and she would just finally say, because I told your ass to.
Because I said so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you said it. You said so, but that ain't what
Said
she
so.
said. She said because
I told your ass to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that meant that was the end of it.
That was it. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. But that wasn't satisfactory for me though. I wanted to know. I wanted to know why.
But why asking why was not necessarily a bad thing because my mom also gave us the liberty to ask why. She always felt like you should know the reason behind a whole lot of things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Or you'll get out there in the world and go for anything.
Right
But
on.
there was a limit at home because she felt like she would give you a little bit of an explanation, but as you just said, but not damn it, there's a limit.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna do this all night. Some of it is just because I said so. So I always thought I had a pretty good balance with mom as far as being able to ask why and get a good understanding. Anything beyond that, I was probably just being smart anyways.
Yeah.
But they could read through that, and I think I tried to give my kids the same ability to at least have an understanding. Because it's important that you understand those things, because otherwise you just find yourself repeating them because you don't get an understanding out of them. So the goal was to get an understanding so we don't have to go down this road no more. So a lot of things that came from those teenage years. Where
You know what? One of the things I think some advice that I would give myself as a teenager would be, to don't be afraid to start over. Because I think failure can paralyze you. And so I would tell my younger self, hey, you're going to have some bumps and you're going to have some ups, downs, some things that just not going to work out. But don't stay down. Don't be afraid to start over. Because life doesn't end with failure. I mean, we matter of fact, we all fail. But that doesn't make you a failure because you failed at something. You know what I'm saying? So I think I would tell my, yeah.
forward. Fail forward.
Hey,
You're right.
hey, hey! You know what? You know, a guy put it. I read this book, and he was how he would tell his kids. He said his child was going up the stairs, and she fell, and it was his daughter, and she said, Daddy, she was crying. He said, what's wrong? She said, I fell up the stairs.
Fail up.
Not didn't fall down the stairs. I fell up the stairs. So as same as you're saying, fell forward. Yeah, she fell up the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would definitely tell that's some advice that I would give my teenage self is
Yeah. Fail
you're
forward.
gonna make some mistakes, man, and don't be afraid, to start over. Have you ever had to start over, TC?
I was about to tell you, absolutely, sir. And mine would be to fail quickly. Just like, we have this term in business to literally fail fast, right? If you're going to try something new and we're going to pivot to the left and try and do it this way, it's okay if it don't work. Fail fast. Decide that it's not working. Look at the stats. Look at the data. Decide whether or not it's worth continuing. If not, pivot and go another direction. Don't sit there over and over and over and over again failing at something. It's okay that it didn't work. Don't sit there for another year doing the same thing expecting new results. So I think I would have told my younger self that too, that it's okay when it doesn't work. That I think I was one of the people who thought, oh my God, this one thing didn't work and the whole thing is just it's a wrap.
Yeah.
And I would have given myself more grace in the fact that, hey, when something doesn't work, it's okay. Rewind, pivot, and move on to the next thing quickly. Fail quickly. Don't lay there and waddle and beat yourself up over why it didn't work for 3 more months. Because ultimately there's a lesson to be learned in everything. Find your lesson and keep it moving. I learned that later in life, out of just the mere fact that there was nothing else left to do with it, because I was in some situations when you're talking about failing, I was just so upset with myself for it not working that I would just get caught up spinning out of control trying to figure out the why. And then eventually I had to say, okay, it don't matter why, just keep it moving. Figure out something that does work and keep it moving. I used to say, and I still say, that the best thing that came out of my marriage was I married a woman who 100% believed in me.
Yeah.
Connie believed I could do anything, any cockamamie idea I came home with. Honey, I'm going to start a beeper business. I'm going to quit my day job and I'm going to start a beeper business. You going to have to get the insurance because I ain't going to have none. This, that, all the stuff that was going to go on. And you know what this woman would say?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, because she believed I could do anything. Do you know what it's like to have somebody like that in your corner?
Shoot, man, let me tell you.
And I'm sitting there on paper going, dear Lord, please let it work. And she like, evidently, if you finna do it, you done figured it out. I already had the conversation with God. I had a little conversation with God, but the rest of this was me. But if I tell her this is what I'm doing, okay.
Man, let me tell you, my wife is the exact same.
That's a beautiful thing, boy.
I have. Let me tell you, it's so bad that I have to be careful about what I say.
Me
too. If I don't have to say, you know what, I'm going to. If I say, I was thinking about, just thinking about.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Like, let's go.
About 3 years ago, I said, you know what, I think I'm gonna do a podcast. Just 3 years ago. I'm gonna do a podcast. About a week later, there's boxes all in the living room.
She done bought
all of these lights in here.
That
my wife bought
before I even came to you.
Before you ever came, and I never did a podcast. Never did a podcast. But I already had the lights and everything, man. Yeah, that's crazy. And I just said I'm thinking about. I didn't say I was going to. When I started driving Uber, I said, I think I'm gonna drive Uber.
Right.
And so on the day that I decide to do it, I get in the car and the car has candy in the cup holders in the back. It got signs in the back of the car. I mean, she has decorated the car to where when people get in, oh, this is nice. And all I said was, I'm thinking about doing this. So this woman, just like Connie, is always behind me,
Yeah.
110%. You know?
There is nothing there is no dollar amount that you can put on that when someone really believes in you like that, because she believed in me as much as I like to think I'm a pretty confident person.
Yeah.
She believed in me more than I believed in myself, because I always have doubt, because I'm like, I don't want to let nobody down.
Yeah, man.
100%. If I said it, she'd be like, let's go. I'll never forget how we moved to Atlanta. I visited Atlanta in 96, probably right after me and you came down for some training. And I said, this city is Detroit in 1975. It's just this metropolitan of culture and black people doing big things. And I was down here at a conference, and I called home. I said, honey, I don't know when, but we are moving to Atlanta. She said, just say when. Flat out. Now, it took me 5 years to find a job, but every year I was looking for jobs in Atlanta, and it opened up. And all I had to do was tell her, honey, this one is for Atlanta. She was like, what we waiting on? Boom, I applied for it, did the interviews, and got the job.
Boy, you spoke that when we visited Atlanta.
There you go. I told
you said that.
I said it. When we were
sure
together,
did.
I said, this right here, I'm going to live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sure did.
Me, you, Ball.
And you, UV. UV. You sure did.
I told y'all.
You sure did.
It took 5 years. But that's all right. I prayed about it every day. Every day.
Man,
and
let me tell you.
When the right thing opened up, I knew it was right.
You got it. You know what? Let me tell you this. Just yesterday, I text my wife this. Yesterday. Read this text here. I said, thank you, baby, for always supporting, believing, encouraging, and speaking life into my dreams. You are the shiznick. And her response was, you make this so easy for me. You are the Charmin, the toilet, the plumber, the pine saw, and the poopery.
Not the poopery.
Yeah.
Oh, you silly. I love it.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need right there, boy. That's
come on,
that's the
man.
wind beneath your cape. That's the
Come
cape
on, man.
itself. That's everything. And
Come
let me
on.
tell you something, as we're talking about what would I have told my teenage self. I would have told my teenage self, find you a woman like that.
Yeah.
God was good to me. I didn't even know I needed her, but he sent her anyways.
Yeah.
And she was that since I was in high school. It's the reason why we made it.
Yeah.
Because what do I know at 19?
Nathan.
Nothing. But if I told her we was going to try it, that's what we did. All the way through to the very end.
Yeah.
If I believed in it, she believed in it more. So
Yeah.
find you a spouse like that.
Amen.
Teenage Terry Caston. Find that. Find
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So that would be one of the things. The other thing would be, and then learn to listen to that.
Oh, wow.
See, because it took me too long to listen.
Wow.
Then it would be, and learn to appreciate that for
Yeah.
not being you.
Yeah.
And then learn to appreciate the differences in that, because had it been you, two of you would have been a mess.
Woof.
You see what I'm saying?
Ooh, I'm glad God didn't give me a me.
Come on.
If God would have gave me a me,
We don't need another me nowhere. Okay? I am a full-time job. I know this. So
talking about hot garbage. Oof.
Come on, man. A hot mess. I know.
Man, you know, one of the other things that I would tell my teenage self, man, and I bet everybody that's listening can identify with this, is be yourself.
Yeah, man.
Just be yourself. You know, when you're a teenager, man, you trying to be
Fit in.
everything but who you really are. You want to be a thug. You want to be a gangster. You want to be a playboy. I mean, you just want
All
to
that
be
come
everything.
with it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you are actually none of that. You know,
None of it. Yeah.
just be yourself, man. And as you said, you know, you want to fit in. When you're trying to fit in, you try to become everything that you think your friends want you to be, and not even knowing, guess what, that they faking too.
Yeah. So
All of
everybody
us are.
thinks-
Yeah, all of us
Now,
faking.
I will give. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due on this one. I never suffered from that because my mother was never a believer in following people.
Yeah.
So for me, it was never that. It was always her instilling in me, be yourself. Don't be a follower. Set the trend and let people follow you.
Yeah.
So I never fell into that. I always felt comfortable in my own skin. Always felt comfortable doing my own thing. And I think I was a trendsetter, not because I was trying to be, but because Dorothy was telling me it's okay just to do you. You ain't
Yeah.
got to be something big, special, whatever. Just be you. That's enough. Just be you.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And
Yeah.
so I thank God for her
Yeah.
instilling in me to just be myself. And that took away from that lesson from me, got taken away because I believed her. I believed everything my mother ever said about me. The fact that I could be anything that I wanted, that I could have anything that I wanted, that I was brighter than anybody, I was equal to everybody. All of that came from her, and I just believed her. Told me that I was not any better than anybody, but I was equal to everybody, and therefore everybody was important. And I tried to treat people like I wanted to be treated, and I felt responsible for doing right by people because I wanted people to do right by me. Because she said those things to me, I believed it. And so I took some good lessons, thank God, from my mother, but it wouldn't have been nothing like hearing from yourself in terms of if you do this, you might end up this way, or if you do that, you're going to end up that way. But yeah, it would have been amazing to talk to myself and have someone who knew the outcome share with me some things that I might want to think about on this journey. And more importantly, to encourage you along the way because a whole lot of stuff did not go the way you wanted. And it was always about, do you still have it in you to pick yourself up and try one more time? That's
right.
it. As long as you can get up and try one more time, it ain't never over. It ain't
Yeah.
never the end.
Yeah.
Just one more
Yeah.
time. Brush yourself off.
Yeah. Failure is not final.
No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir. I've lived by something. I've got a cup here. I lived by this majority of my life.
Yeah. It's not an option. Yeah.
Failure is not an option. This is something that I've had. I must have 10 medallions or 10 different. It came from the Apollo mission. I was always a huge NASA fan. And it came out of the Apollo mission. It was something that they told them, Apollo 13, as this craft was failing. Mission Control simply told them as they were scrambling to figure out how to fix the spacecraft or either die, they told them, listen, calm down. We're going to get some duct tape. We're going to get some aluminum from over here. We going this, that, and the other. Calm down because failure is not an option. We don't know how we're going to get you home, but we're going to get you home. And so that became such a motto for me because I thought about everything that I was going to attempt to do. If I called myself failing at it, that wasn't an option. So therefore, failure wasn't necessarily what I thought. It was just one way that it didn't work. So
Right.
failure wasn't an option. And I basically believed that. And therefore, everything I tried that didn't work, I simply tagged it as something that didn't work. There was no failure because that's not an option. I'm going to
Yeah.
figure out a way to make this thing do what I want it to do or else. Or else
Yeah.
what? Or else I'm going to get up one more time and try it again.
Yeah. And some people fail because they didn't try
Try.
anything. They were afraid.
Okay.
So they didn't try anything, and that's failure too.
My wife had a saying, and it was, "If you scared, then do it scared.
Yeah,
If you're
Yeah.
scared, do it scared. Now what?
yeah, yeah,
Ain't nothing else to it but to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm afraid. I don't know. Okay, well then do it. Do it scared. Do it not knowing. Most people who are successful start out not knowing. You figuring it out as you go, and that's where fake it till you make it comes in, because all you have to do is look the part, walk the part. Won't nobody else know you don't know what you're doing but you,
yeah,
and keep it moving. Keep
yeah,
it moving. I'm a
Yeah.
firm believer in that. Firm believer.
yeah. I tell you what, man, I'm scared every Sunday.
Yes, sir. Every time you get up to that pulpit, huh?
Scared, bro.
Listen,
Nervous.
Is it true that every pastor is preaching to himself every time you get on the mic?
110% of the time.
Wow. People listen to that.
110%
Think about the last time
of
you
the
was
time.
at church. No matter what that pastor was preaching about, he was equally preaching to himself. Huh?
You better believe it. As a matter of
Ain't that
fact, as a matter of fact, he gets it before you do,
Wow.
because he's studying it, and then
Yeah.
God is dealing with him as he studies that.
Mm.
So now he got to stand up and deliver that.
Mm-hmm.
Deliver
That's
what
good.
God spoke to him about him. You know,
And that's why you can deliver so well, because because it's
Yeah.
down, it's you too.
yeah,
And somebody
Yeah.
say, I'm raising all my fingers and toes. If you could see my toes, they'd be raised
Yeah.
right now.
That's, you know what, I don't. That's why I never use the word you when I'm preaching. I don't say you need or you should. I say we. We. It's always we. I never put a you in it. You know, because I
That's
don't
good.
want. I need people to know that I am
human.
included. Yeah, I'm
Yes,
included in
right.
that. Yeah, and
That's
and
good.
I think that's one of my traits, is that I'm always transparent with my struggles, and I think that's probably what attracts people.
Let
'Cause I'm
me tell
transparent
you
about it.
this. It has been a catalyst in our friendship, because I'm just that kind of guy. Like, I tell people, this is one of my best friends. He a pastor. People be like, ooh, he a pastor. I'm like, this is the most down-to-earth brother you ever
Yeah.
want to meet, though. It has made our friendship so important and valuable to me that
Yeah.
you were always transparent.
Yeah.
You the same guy at church, at the
Yeah.
office, at the house, out at a restaurant, at dinner, wherever we do. You the same guy. You don't never change up and have to put on no air, nothing. That is
Yeah.
so important to me,
Man.
especially in people that I call friends,
Yeah,
because that's how I am.
yeah, you are.
I've always appreciated
Yeah,
you
you
for
are.
that. I
Yeah,
so
yeah.
appreciate you for
Man.
that. And that's helped me talk to you about things that are important to me, because I know Matt gonna give it to me real.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna sugarcoat it. You gonna give it to me real, and it ain't got no sugarcoating to it. It is what it is if you say it.
Yeah.
So appreciate you for that.
Oh man,
So appreciate it.
man,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But that worked both ways though.
Yeah.
It's iron sharpening iron, man.
There you go.
You
There
know,
you go.
we over 25 years in this thing, man. And
We are.
yeah, hey, you know what? We've grown, but yet we stayed the same. We stayed real to it, true to it.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. And that's
That's
huge.
big.
Yeah,
Another point that I would tell my teenage self: stay true to thyself.
to thine own self be
To
true,
thy
man.
own self be true.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I would tell my teenage self.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 That's good. That's
Yes,
good,
sir.
man. That's
important.
good. You know what, man? I sent you that article.
Yeah.
Something that happened down here.
Yeah,
was
so
this?
sad.
Yeah. Little kid
sad.
stabbed another kid, and we were talking about it earlier, and just wondering how
Yeah.
many kids egged it on. You better
Yeah.
whoop him. You better.
Yeah.
You better. If you don't, then I'm a. You know, and just the kid probably reacted because he was being taunted or egged on to do it.
To do it.
Yeah.
What would you
And-
tell your teenage self about that? What would
Yeah.
you say to that?
Man, oh man, that is something. I really never. Man, I've never been a crowd pleaser though. I didn't never
Yeah,
need
me-
anybody to egg me on, man. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Not to sound arrogant, but I always thought I was just too fly, man. You know,
Yeah.
for certain things. You know,
I feel you.
I thought I was too clean because I stayed
feel
clean all the time.
I'm with you.
You know, I ain't gonna have. They got time for that. I ain't
Lord,
finna.
please.
I ain't
You done
finna dirt up
you
my.
done wrinkled something
What? What?
No, I don't. I've been
Come on,
pressing.
man.
I'm late for school, pressing an iron or something. Don't play with me.
I'm
You
finna
know,
get
I'm
grass
looking at this
stains.
day.
I ain't finna get grass stains on my. Say, man, huh?
You have to either be really saying something crazy about my mama, or be
Yeah.
to put your hands on me
Yeah.
for me to mess around and have to go and get dirty. Everything
Yeah.
else, I'll go and let that slide, bro. Cause
No,
I ain't that
man.
guy.
No, man.
And
TC.
have no fear, no fear.
Look here, man. I listen. I wore a suit to school, man.
Stop. You playing with it, man.
Man, I was in the 8th grade, from the 8th to the 12th.
Stop,
I didn't wear. Listen,
man.
I didn't wear a pair of jeans until my senior year in high school.
Stop.
I wore a suit and carried a briefcase from the 8th grade
Class.
to the 12th grade.
What did they say
What?
when they see you coming down the hall, Matt? They thought you was a teacher.
No, they knew who Matt was. Say, I'm serious, man. Every day I wore a suit. If I didn't have on a suit, I had on slack shirt
Wait a
and a
minute.
little skinny tie.
But wait, I know
Man.
you ain't lying because the day I showed up at WebLink Wireless, I never forget this. So I get down to the corporate office and they say, "Yeah, well, we have a tech support team that's going to be working on the clients." Da 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 da. Wait, and it was like, "I want you to go over and meet these guys." Cool. I've been in many tech support centers. It's normally really smart guys in there that know what they're doing, casually dressed, maybe a little sweater, a little button down, whatever. Why I walk up in here, y'all, and Matt got cufflinks from KNG. He had a cufflink on that had to be about this big. He had cufflinks on, big collared shirt with the cufflinks was white, the shirt was blue. I thought to myself, where is this guy going? These are you said they was the inside tech support people, right? Wait a minute, you sure he ain't the vice president of the sales? Who is? Oh, this is Matthew Brown. And then, of course, then you got Derek next to you, which I'm like, okay, something's wrong. You got the VP of sales, and they're working with that guy. He said, no, they're both tech support. I said, what? And making some bad, and he had some fly shoes on, and I think before it was over, I'm like, man, where you get them shoes? Oh, K&G. And we went to K&G.
With the KNG, you sure did.
We didn't have K&G up there in Ohio.
I know.
Man was like, oh, I'll take you. Okay, yo, what you doing for lunch? Let's roll. Straight to K&G.
Man, KNG,
I came back home to
man.
Ohio with shoes all over the place. It's like my wife was like, I thought you went to the office. Honey, I met this brother clean as a Sunday tack at the office.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hilarious. I said,
That is funny.
I said, wait, who is the brother? Who? He's a what? Man, he got to be the VP, man. That dude a VP. Hilarious.
Oh, man.
But that was your image. That was your brand.
Yeah. That was it, man. So
Now, I was a
I
little under that, but man, I actually went out and saw customers in person. It was a little bit more applicable for me.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
was wondering, is he going out to see customers? Oh God, y'all
That's too funny.
Clean as a Sunday.
Oh boy,
was
that's too
clean.
funny, man.
I know that dude running something. Ain't no way he's just over there. He's running something. If he
Man,
ain't running something, he gonna be running something in a minute. Matt Berry, y'all.
boy, that's
Yeah.
funny. That's
Yeah,
funny.
man. So that's you. That was your brand. Now, what would
Yeah.
you tell your teenage self now? Would you still say, stay clean to the
Oh,
cat
man,
tonight,
yeah.
or would you say back
Yeah.
it now a little bit?
No, I still stay clean.
Because that was just
Yeah, that was me, man. I was being myself, man. Hey, you know what though, TC, man? My grandmother was a stickler for a man being well groomed. She always
Yeah.
believed that I never forget, man. Came to my grandmother's house, man. It was on a Sunday too, and I had on a suit, but my shoes wasn't shine. And my grandmama.
I couldn't get away from that. My dad was military man.
Yeah, man. But I didn't have a man in my life. Man, my grandmother took my shoes and shined them jokers up and said, yeah.
I'm gonna just show you how real it is. I grew up. What is that? Y'all don't know nothing about.
Oh
this.
man, come on, man. Yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
don't know what that is.
That's right.
That's full shoe shine, kid.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing I wear that ain't gonna be polished.
that's right.
Black brushes, pink
And brown,
brushes,
that's right. Got to have a buffer.
neutral.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Got buffers.
There you go.
You got every color shoe polish there is.
Yeah,
Now, that's what happened when your dad,
yeah.
grandfather are military. When you
That's right.
3 generations of military, ain't no such thing as dirty shoes. That
Yeah.
ain't never happen.
See, I learned it at 11, 12 years old, but I learned
Me
from
too.
my grandmother, though. Shined them jokers up and said, don't you never let me see you with your shoes
Never.
unshine. So at Weblink, I had a kit in my drawer.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and look, and Derek come up in there with these dusty boots on, man.
Is
I
he
said,
listening today? Because
I
I'm sure
hope
that
he
you got
is.
him. Did you get him right? 'Cause I think he began looking better about his role as
Yeah.
time went on. But
He
I
did.
think he had just never been subjected to nobody
Uh-huh.
dressing and grooming like that. You know, he was just showing
Man,
up to work. If you
I
could
took-
get him to show up.
I took his boots. I said, dude, you
I just busted you out there. D-Ray. I be in the mall. I be in the mall.
boy, that.
Come on, DTC in town, man. Come on in. Come to work.
D-Ray. No, man, I'm not coming, man. D-Ray crazy, man. But say, man, I said, D, give me them boots, man. And I shine them up real good for him,
Nice.
handed it back to him. As soon as he put them on, he looked down at him.
Yeah.
Man, I'll be right back, man. He got to go walking around now because
he
he
wanna
feeling
sit
good about himself. Boy wouldn't even sit down the whole day. But you know what? And every day he came in after that, he would just help himself to my kid, man. Yeah, I say, D, you don't have to shine him every day, man. I'm shining every day.
Should have went to the military in the first place.
Man, OD right. But yeah, I would tell myself, man, yeah, I believe in that appearance, man. You gotta stay clean, man.
Well, you know, again, when you start talking about what we would have told ourselves in our teenage years, believe it or not, those were such formative years.
Yeah.
That whatever you heard or were exposed to in those years made us who we are right now.
Absolutely.
You know? And so,
Absolutely.
depending on what you were exposed to, that's why for me, military, I'm going to military at 19, that just becomes a part. You'd be amazed how fast they can change the core of who you are. You go in the military at 18, 19, and stay 4 years, you ain't never the same. You ain't never the same because those are serious formative years. And your grooming and the way you carry yourself, and all of that changes instantly with the way in which they shape and mold you. So,
Would you do it again?
I'd do it again. I tell my teenage self, absolutely go straight to the military. Absolutely.
Wow.
You know, in Israel, it is illegal, not even illegal, it's not possible for a teenager to go right to college. Every male and every female must serve in the armed forces. Must. Ain't about no, do you want to go? No.
Yeah, there are several countries like that.
Yeah, that's right. Males serve for 4 years or 3 years, 3 or 4, and females serve for 2. Israel is that way. And then you can go to college, but everybody must first do military time. What I saw when I worked over there was a society of serious people. Wasn't no foolishness. Wasn't no wilding out in your 20s and all that, because everybody went from high school to military, and then out of military, by the time they went to college, they were serious.
Yeah.
Wasn't no foolishness. They were serious about how they look, how they dress, how they talk, how they carried themselves. They represented their country in a very different manner. They had a whole different viewpoint of the world because they never had the 20s to just be footloose and fancy. So I personally thought it was great. I said, I think that's what we need to do in the United States. Everybody needs to serve. Everybody needs to go and do 2 years or 4 years. It would change who we are as a people. And I think personally it would make the country better. Now a lot of people disagree, but after going, I would do it again in a heartbeat. It was the best thing I ever did. Best thing
I
ever.
think I you know what, man, I can see that. Now do they make them go to the military even before college, huh? Right at 18 you go to military.
You cannot go to college. You must serve your military time first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you can get out and go to college.
You know what though? I think that would make for a
Interesting.
much more disciplined teenager. At 18 you got to go to the
Totally.
military. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in your 20s, you're a whole different caliber of a guy. You're a
Yeah.
whole different caliber of a woman.
Yeah.
You know, and it changes how you see everything, how you see the world, how you see your country.
Now there I see the butterfly, man. It caught me right there.
Come on
I see the
now.
butterfly.
You know,
Yeah.
mom is
Yeah.
in the room.
Yeah, I was about to say something until I saw the butterfly.
Come on,
Yeah.
come on. Don't get
Yeah.
no whooping.
Yeah. So, but let me ask you this though, because I see guys going to the military at 18. I got some friends that did it at 18,
Yeah.
but they came out raggedy though. So, is the military in Israel different from the military here though? Are they a little
Yeah.
more stern? Are they more disciplined than our military? Because I've
Yeah.
seen too many guys go in and when they come out, they the same person they were when they went in. I'm like, what was the purpose?
And that's crazy because we got a volunteered military. So you had to volunteer to go in there versus in Israel, they make you.
Yeah.
So Israel's different in the fact that all of it is called armed forces. And then I think based on how they get selected, some of you guys might go do air armed forces, some do army armed forces, blah, 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 blah. But all of it is called armed forces. Whereas with us, our military is broken up into 4 divisions: Air Force, Marines, Army, Navy.
Navy.
And
Yeah.
you choose which branch you want to go in, and then you apply and test. And if your scores are adequate, you can go into that particular branch. Now, if you choose to go into the military and you come out raggedy, that's on you, because you have every opportunity to get it right. Not only that, depending on what you go into, they may have thrown you out because they're only going to tolerate so much. So it just depends on the individual, and you have to, like anything else, you got to want it, and you got to want to get something out of it, and you got to be willing to make the changes that they're trying to impose on you. So
Yeah.
people who are reluctant to that and buck those changes, you probably don't get to stay nowhere. You probably end up getting booted out.
Yeah, man, because I'm gonna tell you, when I see like, what is it, North Korea, when I see their military, or China, man, they look like they are real soldiers, like they are just programmed, for discipline. And but ours, man, I just don't see that. It looks like we have a little more leisure, a little more leeway to. I just,
I think that's,
and maybe that's for the TV, for the show, for the cameras,
Yeah. Because, you kind of want to think that those dictatorships have a very different way of training, and they do. North Korea versus South Korea. I mean, that's very different. One is a dictatorship, one is a
Right.
democracy. But I don't believe that a dictatorship creates better soldiers. You got to remember, in a dictatorship, these soldiers are being forced
Right.
to be in the military. We're talking about a volunteer military. That's people who say, I believe in this country. I believe it's worth fighting for. I believe it's worth dying for. And I'm here to be the very best I can be to defend it.
How many How many join with that thought versus I get to travel the world and I get to get away from this place,
first
this
of all,
city that I live in. I'm you know what I mean?
It's a combined thing. Sometimes you get a little bit of that. I would say 80% of folks who go in, you are looking for the benefits of it. And, that is, some of it is travel. Some of it is traveling globally. Some of it is getting out of your hometown because it's a mess and ain't nothing else going on. Otherwise, I'm going to get hung up and go to jail around here. So some of it is that. But once you get in, they quickly reset you and, make sure that you're very clear about why you're there. Because if you go in and forget for 1 minute that you've come in here to lay your life on the line for this country, they will remind you. And depending on the job that you're doing, some are a little bit closer to that than others. But it is something that shouldn't be taken lightly, because beyond all of that, you are literally putting your life on the line for this country. And if push comes to shove and we call you to go and do what we said you had to do in training, it get real quick. So peacetime is very different than wartime, but it is also a military that's designed to train and create better citizens. It's not just about the military. It's about giving you training that you can use when you get out. It's about creating citizens and gentlemen and women of strong character, and all of that goes into it, as well as, and for in exchange for that, you defend the country. So just depends on what it is you're in there for and the kind of job that you get while you're there, that will better determine how you see the actual military. But I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Yeah.
And that's something you would tell your teenage self.
Yeah.
Go to the military. Now, did you do it right out of high school?
Right out of high school. Yep.
Yeah.
And me, I'm very particular. I tell myself the same thing. Don't go nowhere but the Air Force. That's me.
Yeah.
All right. It was a much better choice in the fact that it offered careers and a background that was closer to what I wanted, which was technology based. I wasn't trying to be no grunt running around on the ground shooting at nobody. And there are guys who's into that. Great. If I do something, I'm going to fly overhead and drop a bomb on you and then fly my jet back home and go in the house and eat dinner.
Yeah.
So there's different philosophies in terms of how you fight. And so
the Air Force is kind of bougie.
Oh, we get dogged for it. We get dogged for it. All the other branches dog us all the time.
Yeah.
They be talking trash, but yet they come on our base and see how we live, and they be like, dang, y'all got AC, y'all got this, that, and the other. Y'all dorms got, yeah. While they out sleeping in tents and driving Jeeps and all that, we driving cars.
Yeah.
We sleeping in ACs. No, it ain't none of that.
But the Navy's gear, their dress was clean.
The Navy had, yeah.
Oh, it was clean. Yeah, I like some of that stuff clean.
The Marines got the baddest dress.
You think so?
Yeah.
Man, I like those sailor suits, man. Man, real nice.
I'm in Air Force, but I think the Marines got the coldest dress. But and ours is nice, but the Marines is pretty tight. Yeah. Our whole thing was about harnessing intelligence. Air Force is about intelligence. We're here to get smart people. You got to have the highest score possible to go into military. Everybody takes a test called AVBAB. And that test ranks you in terms of intellect, and it determines if you could even go to the Air Force or if you can go to the Army or the Navy. And so they stack rank it, and you have to have the highest scores possible to go into the Air Force. So they see themselves a little bougie because it's about intellect, not necessarily grunt. And so the grunts be like, yeah, man, but I'll mess you up. I'll beat you up. Now, don't get it wrong. We all got guns.
Yeah.
Everybody out here trying to fight you.
Yeah.
We all got Berettas. It ain't that serious, bro. We all got Berettas. We all got M16s. We got St. Evans. So, no, it was great. I'd do it again in a minute. I would advise my teenage self or a teenager that was thinking about it personally to consider Air Force, but nothing wrong with armed forces in general, but just be clear about the mission and know why you're there. It's not a game. You are first and foremost serving your country, and there's a price to pay for that. So, but my hat goes off to them.
Yeah, I think one of the other things I would tell myself, and I think we may have touched on it too, is to take risk. You know, don't be
Yeah.
afraid to take risk. You know,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to go outside of your comfort zone.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and I tell you, you know
And
what,
try some stuff.
you know what, man, growing up in the projects, there are some. We talked about this one time before, man, because there are some guys that I grew up around never ventured outside of Dallas,
Yeah.
and when they did go outside of Dallas, it was always to another ghetto.
Right. That's
but
crazy.
but never got outside of Dallas. I know my mom, man. Every summer, we would fly to California. I
Right.
never wanted to go, never. I wanted to stay home in the projects, and my mom
And
used
hang
to
out with
always,
your buddies.
man, and my mother would.
Get on the plane.
What you want to do? You just want to stand on the corner with rollers in your hair, a wife beater on, and a 40 ounce in your hand? Because at the time,
Right.
you know, they was wearing the baggy pants with the wife beater shirt with the perm. And so
Right.
some guys still had the rollers in their head, you know, because
Oh,
they went and
boy.
got a fresh perm, right? And she said, "Is that what you want to do, boy? If you don't go in there and pack your stuff and let's get out of here." And man, I didn't want to
So
go.
you could see something.
On Tuesdays, my mom got paid on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, this was our thing. We went to the mall, North Park Mall. We would go to this cafeteria inside of the mall called Wyatt's Cafeteria. Then she'd take us to the Gap. We get a pair of Levi's. We get in the car and we would drive down this street in Dallas called Swiss Avenue. And Swiss Avenue has nothing but mansions. And I'm talking about ginormous, beautiful mansions. TC, I hated Tuesdays, man. Because
You
I
didn't want to
want
see
to.
him.
No.
Oh.
Man, I'm trying to be with the fellas.
Oh,
I want
you
to be in the
trying to be with
projects.
boys. Oh, okay.
But my mother, man,
She knew.
She
Expand
knew.
your horizon.
man, she would always
See
tell us, this was her word to us: it is more to life than them damn projects.
There you go.
And
She
man,
knew.
we would drive up and down Swiss Avenue and looking at these mansions, and she was giving us something
Yep. To
to,
think
to,
on.
to think
see.
on, man, to see.
Yeah.
You know that you can own a home. You don't
can
have to be in
what
the
you can see.
yeah.
You can have what you can
Woo,
see.
man, you know what,
this
man?
day.
To the man, look here, and that expanded my
Your
horizon, man.
I love that. I
That
love
expanded my horizon. So,
Wow,
but
that's
but I would still tell my young self, my teenage self, to take more risks, though.
Yeah.
And to really get outside that comfort zone, because you know, I've had some tendencies to stay within my comfort zone because it felt good for one,
Yeah.
and I felt safe, you know, and I didn't want to fail.
Right.
But I know that I would get more outside of my comfort zone, and that's what I would tell my teenager. Matter of fact, I would tell a teenager that today. You
Yeah.
know, bruh, you need to get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because you can get stuck in that right there, and that may be good for today,
Yeah.
but it may
For a
not be.
season.
Yeah, it may not be any good in the next season. But you still stuck and holding on to it because it still feels good. It still works for you, but there's something better though.
Yeah.
And I want what's better and not what's good
Your
for right
mom
now,
is a
man.
smart woman. Just to
Yeah.
hear you tell that story, she knew the value of expanding your territory.
Yeah.
She knew the value of you seeing more in order to want more. You can't
Yeah.
want what you can't see. You ain't imagined it, ain't never seen it.
Yeah.
And then the final piece of that is you can have whatever you see.
Wow,
You can have whatever you see.
man.
That was Dorothy. You
Yeah.
can have whatever you
What you
see.
see? Mhm.
Anything you
Wow.
see, you can have. You just have to pay the price. What does it take
Yeah.
to do that? I got to do this. Got to do that.
Yeah.
But you can have anything you see.
Mhm.
I believed her, and it ain't too many things that I ain't been able to manifest that I wanted bad enough.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny. I set my car one day, not too long ago, at a red light, thinking about something I said 2 or 3 cars ago. And that's what it was. I was at a light and I can't remember what the car was, but it was dope and it went by me. And I thought to myself, I can see myself in that or a car like that. And one day I'm going to look down and my dashboard is going to be a different car.
Yeah.
And I sat there that day and I looked down, and sure enough, my dashboard was a different car. I said, this
Yeah.
is that moment.
Yeah.
I was at that same light,
Yeah.
thinking about the same thing, and I said, look at this.
Yeah.
It's happened. My dashboard is a different dashboard.
Yeah.
So you can have
That's right.
anything you see.
That's right,
It's a
man.
matter of time.
Man, you know what, man? Oh, man, I can remember just being so. I hate to use the word ghetto, but I
You
can
know no
remember.
better. That's all you knew.
Yeah, that's all I knew,
That's all
man.
you knew.
I remember times, TC, where I needed tires for a car, and I would never go buy new tires, a set of new tires. I'm always
we bought
pulling up in a
retreads.
used used tire dealership,
Yeah.
$20.
Retread.
Yeah, pay $80 for 4 of them.
Yeah.
You know, and really thought that was okay.
Yeah.
Man,
For
do
me,
you?
it was just that I had a hoopty and I had to take care of it. So I knew there was better. I just knew I wasn't making that much money with my summer job to have it. So it was a little different reason why I bought them. I bought them because this would get me by.
But that was a
till I
summer
make some real
job.
money.
That was a summer
Yeah.
job.
Yeah,
I was a grown man.
Oh, you should my Oh, my bad.
But
I get you.
but it started as a teenager though.
There you go. That's right. That's
Buying
what
used cars, used tires, yeah.
Retreads, where they be and put a new tread on it. Yeah.
And man, I don't know when it started or why,
Yeah.
but I was like, wait a minute. Why I keep putting used tires on these cars? I started getting new tires, man. I don't buy it. Matter of fact, I know my wife listens. She might not want me to tell it, but
Yeah.
when I met my wife, that's what she was doing, putting
Yeah.
old
Like
tires, used tires. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. No, we do
We gonna do better than that.
new tires.
There
We
you
don't
go.
we don't do it like that. Now if your money is funny, your change is strange, and that's all
Hey.
you can afford, you got to do what you have to do.
That's right.
But if you got the money, you don't need to be going buying some used
Right.
tires, man. But that kind of stuff is handed down, though. You know what I
that's
mean?
a mindset.
It's
what
handed
you're saying.
down. Yeah,
Mindset.
exactly. And so
And that's poverty mindset that you have to break. And therefore, when you start
Early.
thinking differently, that's right. When you start thinking differently, you will receive differently.
yeah,
So that's a mindset.
Yeah.
I hear you loud and clear.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
we've all been there.
I would definitely. That's another thing too, man. Listen,
Yeah.
you have to pay for what you want, and
That's right.
and you should want the best.
Always.
You should want the best.
No,
You don't always have to get secondhand, man.
that's right. Mindset.
Yeah.
Mindset.
Yeah.
No, I think this is good. I think, what I've taken away from tonight is that, the end of the day, it is the programming that we adopt the soonest that makes our lives better. So the sooner we can get to ourselves, teenage years, 20 years old, and begin to reshape and reform those thoughts, the better off our lives are on the latter part. Because we make better choices, we make better decisions, we take better risk. We are willing to do the hard work, knowing that we've got much more on the back end to celebrate, and that makes our lives richer in the end. So definitely good words of wisdom. Some of us think about it as talking back to our teenage years, but some of these things we can still take today. Right?
For real.
And then here's the other thing I will tell you. Go talk to a teenager. Go
Oh,
talk
wow.
to a teenager who ain't had a chance to live it out yet. So
Yeah.
two things can come out of tonight's session. Number one, some of these lessons we can still take to this day. Number two, there's some teenagers, be they in your household or otherwise, who are at a place maturity-wise where hearing some of these things can really change their lives. And we should take an opportunity to seek them out and do just that.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
this is a situation where you got to be a certain age for some of this to make sense.
Yeah.
And it is about that teenage and them 20s, that late
Yeah.
teenage years and them early 20s. Boy, these are lessons that'll shape you quickly.
Yeah.
Make things a whole lot better if you listen.
You know what, man? I've been telling my grandson, boy, since he was 5, 6 years old. I've been giving him the same speech. I tell him, listen, look me in my eyes. I said, when you talk to a man, you look him in his eye. Don't hold your head down. Don't look to the left or the right. Look him in the eyes when you're talking. And I would say, now repeat after me. And I would tell him, you're great. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're awesome. And I've been telling him that his whole life, man.
Right.
And now he has a lot of confidence.
He believes it.
Oh yeah, man. Great confidence, man. And I love it. Yeah, I love it. And when I get kids, when I get some of these college students in the backseat of that car when I'm driving Uber, I'm always pouring into young people. I had a young lady today. I picked up her first. She just graduated high school. She had first year in college, and I was taking her to the college campus. She wants to be a veterinarian, and so I was asking her questions about different types of dogs and and cats and what animals are she going to specialize in. And she was telling me, I want to specialize in dogs and cat. Right now, I'm an assistant tech, and we do all kinds of animals. But at the end of that conversation, I began to tell her that you are going to be the best vet in the DFW Metroplex area. I just believe after talking to you, you're going to be that. I said, I'm looking forward to hearing some great things about you. And I'm looking in my rear view mirror at her, and she lights up. When I pulled up in front of the campus and let her out, the young lady had a different walk, man. She walked with some confidence, man. So I believe in what you said is to take some of these young people and really pour into them. You don't have to know them by name.
They ready.
Yeah. Because they're wide open, man. A lot of these young people, they're wide open. They're wanting somebody to pour something in. It's just that the wrong people pouring stuff in. And they need people like Uncle T and Matthew and some of our listeners to really get these young people and pour something into them because they want it, man. They need it.
Let me say something before we get ready to shut it down. And all this is so good because you hit it on the head. They are looking for something good to hear. They're looking for something wise. Yeah. And if they're not exposed to people that are a little wiser, then they'll take what is around them. And that's the problem. So yesterday, I met a young lady. I told you I had the AMG needed a tire, so got it over here, getting a tire ordered for it, and she was taking care of it. And she got to asking me about I got military tags, and so she's like, asked me what branch I was in. I said the Air Force, and she's like, I have been trying to get into the Air Force now for over a year. I said, well, what's been going on? She's like, well, the recruiter won't get back to me, this, that, and the other. And I was like, what? So she got to telling me one of the things that he had asked her was, I guess he gave her a list of questions. Some of it had to do with tattoos. Now, follow me. He had asked what tattoos are on your body. Now, I know for a fact the military don't play too much with tats. But she got to telling me she had tats on her arm, up her arm. She had tats around the back of her ear that came around, this, that, and the other. And she said he hadn't really gotten back to her, and she felt like the tats he had already told her certain tats are a problem, but if you can cover them up while you're in uniform, it shouldn't be, but he'd have to check. So she was getting a little depressed about it. She said, I just, can't believe he hasn't gotten back. I said, well, if he hasn't gotten back, it's probably because there's something going on with you that's not going to get you in. And I asked her, I said, so how many tats do you have? And she got to pointing and match. She pulling up her sleeve, this, that, and the other. And I know I had this conversation with my own kids. Well, what's wrong with tattoos? Listen, say what you want. I hear you, but everybody on board. And there are institutions, corporate and government, that still don't play that. So what it was boiling down to was there was this one tat on this girl's ear, around the back of her ear, that was holding up her opportunity of a lifetime to serve in the United States Air Force. So I thought about what had happened, and that was when she was in her teens, somebody else was pouring into her.
Wow.
Everybody doing it. It's cool. Forget them. If they don't like your tats, You, like I told my kids, you don't even know who and what you're gonna be yet. Be careful with tats.
Yeah.
So she got them tats when she was 17,
Oh wow.
16, 17, 18 years. She's 23 now. And now she is fighting to figure out how to get these tats removed so she can serve in the United States Air Force.
Wow.
So if we don't pour into them, people their age with no wisdom will pour into them first, and they will do stuff like that. Because amongst their age, they going, forget them. They don't like your taxes. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Okay, you ain't running nothing. Now, one
Be
day when y'all running
yourself.
something, when y'all running something, tax might not be something. But
Wow.
wake up, young people. Tax do mean something. And there are organizations that still ain't going for it. Some are
What a
getting a little bit
message.
more lenient, but there are many that are not. So think about it, and if you're willing to put off your job of a lifetime or serving because you're willing to go get attacked because your friends say it's cool, then do that. But that's what's going on with her right now. So it is seriously important that we find opportunities to talk to them as young as possible so they don't make those mistakes that you might not be able to unwind. Now she going around right now trying to find out how she can have tats burned off her skin to see if that would get her on the roster. Ain't that
Oh
crazy?
wow. Wow.
That's crazy. That happened yesterday.
That
So-
was one awesome story, man.
There we go, man. That's
Boy,
real.
that's a man. That was a good way to close this thing out, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's important.
mean, to
we
still
owe it
be
to
pa-
them. We
Yeah.
owe it to them to talk to them younger and younger so that they, and like I used to tell my kids, don't do something like that right now because you don't know what you're going to be yet. Just
Yeah.
wait. And so same with these young people who are being told by other young folk, it's okay. Ain't nobody got two nickels to rub together and
Right.
they're telling you it's okay. So be careful with that because you don't know yet and you don't want it to limit your opportunities or your chances. That's what it boils down to.
That was good, TC.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I'll see her tomorrow when I pick my car up. I told her to check with a different recruiter and at least find out what they will allow and what they won't. And I said, if it's something that they want and you're willing to get it removed, she said, I am willing to get it removed. I said, then do so. But that's how bad she wants to go in the Air Force. Yeah. So we shall see. And I'm going to stay in touch with her
Yeah.
and see how that goes for her. Because I hate for any kid to lose out on something that they're dreaming of doing. You got your whole life in front of you. And she going into the right branch. I tell, oh, Air Force? Girl, I got
Yeah.
you. What?
Yeah.
I'm going to help you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we shall see.
Man,
All right, man.
find out what she needs, man. And
Yeah.
hey, we got some listeners on here. I'm believing all of us would be willing to pour
Hey.
something into that, and and help her out
true.
and make that happen,
Her
man.
name is Haley. I won't forget her name. Again, I'll see her tomorrow. I'll pick my
Yeah.
car up tomorrow. Yeah, Haley was her name. Don't have one, not one. And got one. This is Donnell. I know Donnell is Army. Spain is on here. Spain is my boy. We served together. Spain, I'm not sure what's going on with Tats. He Air Force. I'm not sure what the rules and regs are, but I know this girl is struggling with it. Now, Spain can help her because he practically, I think he retired from there as well. But yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, anybody can help inspire any of these young people. That's what this session is about. Because them teens and them early 20s, whoo, them is doozies right there, boy.
Yeah.
You know, we make some doozy decisions, shall I say. And we all have done it, and don't nobody get away from that. So,
Well, TC, she may get in. Spain says they allow tattoos.
okay. Well, it's something about this one up on her neck, Spain. You can call me when I'm done. He told her anything she can wear that will cover up under a uniform is fine. But she got this one that wraps around the back of her ear. And I think he was tripping about that one. Said, depends on where it's at. Yeah. That one is bothering him. He said the ones on her arm, no problem, because she can cover them up in uniform. Yeah.
Wow, man. You know what? My wife said social media is raising most kids now.
True.
You know, and they're getting their cues
True.
from social media. Man, you know what? I'm so glad we didn't have social media
Boy.
because we did
stop.
so much without it. Just imagine if we had it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So glad we didn't have that, man. I'm
Yes,
so glad
sir.
I was an adult when social media came about.
Thank you. And
Because
and
I'd have
we
been
ain't got
reckless.
Hey, and some of this is gonna still catch up with folks. So that's
Yeah.
the problem with social media. It's still gonna be out here by the time they become adults, and that just follows them. So
You see what Milo said?
Milo said, "What?" Milo's dad was a freaking general, colonel, or something. Air Force tattoo policy allows tattoos on the hands, arms, neck,
Legs,
legs,
and neck.
and neck, with
With
some
some
restrictions on size. Yeah, she said
Size
it had
and
to
content.
be. She said he told her had to be smaller than a quarter, something. I think whatever's on her neck might be getting in the way. I'm gonna ask her. Spain, Milo, y'all both Air Force. I might have to back at y'all tomorrow because I'm gonna see her tomorrow. She was distraught. I felt bad for her. Yeah, but again, good show.
Very good.
That's just one example of how we can reach out and help these folks because we done all been there. And all I can say is something I would have wanted at that age is for somebody to reach out and talk to my knucklehead too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Reaching back, sharing some of the wisdom. God didn't let us live to get this wisdom just to be getting it. He let you get the wisdom so you can share it.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
you know, there's a reason why he let you know it. And it ain't about you. That's a fact. That is a fact. Cool.
Well, man.
All right, people. We gonna basically let this one go. It's been a great show. I appreciate y'all for joining.
Yeah, man.
As usual.
Milo, Jane, Spain, Anita Berry,
All my people,
Donnell
all my people.
Warren.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Awesome.
she can get
Awesome.
it removed, do so. Okay, Spain says she can get it removed. I'm gonna talk. That's what she was talking about doing. Spain was getting it removed. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
have her tomorrow about that.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great show. Thank you guys for joining in, chiming
y'all.
in,
Yeah.
sharing your wisdom. We look forward to next week doing it again. And yeah, thank you guys again for coming, hanging out with us.
Yeah.
It's been real. It's been real.
Always.
Mr. Barry.
Yes,
good
sir.
All
Man.
good.
Awesome.
All good.
Awesome, man.
Hey, we are keeping the train moving.
Yeah.
Cascom Radio.
Yeah, yeah,
sponsor of
yeah.
Our show.
Yeah. Oh, mine did come in. I got it off the porch.
We're going to talk in a little bit then.
Yeah.
So, Cascom Radios, that's right. Communication, connecting you at the speed of sound. These are push-to-talk LTE radios that let you talk to loved ones across the United States and across the globe if need be. So,
Yeah.
y'all get with us. These are the radios of the future. Walkie-talkies with 2,500 mile radius
Cascom.
that cover the entire United States. Cascom,
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Sponsor of this show. It's your boy doing what we do.
Come
Good
on.
stuff to come,
Come on.
for sure.
Cascom.
All right. Cascom in the mix.
Yeah.
All right, now, y'all have yourself an absolutely fantastic week. Have yourself an even better weekend.
Yeah.
And we will see you right back here next week.
Yeah.
Same bat channel. And yeah, looking forward to talking. All right, sir. If you can't be good, do what?
Be good at it, man.
Be good at it. Be good
Yes,
at
sir.
it.
Be good at it.
Be good at it. All right, y'all. Have a good one. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Peace, everybody. Love you.
Peace.
Bam.